mental health in regional and remote communities, with juvenile justice, with the Cancer Council, and worked in sexual health areas dealing with young people who've experienced incest or rape. Engaging the arts in these contexts can be a matter of life and death. Despite being recognised by local and state awards for my work and being regarded as a dedicated professional amongst my peers, for decades I've lived the life of an individual artist, which is project to project. It was not until 2009 that I was ever employed full-time. After completing 3 scoping studies in partnership with Arts Nexus in Cairns and Access Arts in Brisbane to research the need for an arts and cultural service for people with a disability in far north Queensland, the result was a resounding yes. So ARC Disability Services took the adventurous step and employed me from their own funds as their first arts worker to create the arts program for young people with disabilities within their organisation. Arts projects beyond that are grant-driven. To date, we have received one-off project funding from local government RADF and Arts Queensland, but then that makes us ineligible to reapply again, and that's the dilemma, as we have to find new sources of one-off funding for projects, even if these projects are annual. My work at ARC Disability Services has led to a wonderful partnership with Chopped Arts, an innovative mainstream theatre company putting my performers on stage, and with Kick Arts as a mainstream visual arts organisation. I also work with Trinity Bay High School dance students and with the Tank Arts Centre Children's Festival. This is the 6th year our ARC performers have been involved with presenting Shakespeare at the Tanks with Tropical Arts. In fact, I have just come from our matinee show of Macbeth this morning for high school students, where 8 of my students have been given the stage with a 45-strong cast in a mainstream show. The lead actors are deaf and the show is signed for all the audience. Another dilemma is that ARC's core business is disability, and this often excludes us from being eligible through arts funding guidelines. Last year, the Australia Council came to Cairns to update and explain the new funding avenues following their new strategic plan. And I learned of the Council's Disability Action Plan for 2014-2016. This started a long and precise process of communication and hard work to put together a submission to apply to the Australia Council, often done outside work hours. The overriding impact of funding changes and the consequence it has on my work means we have wasted 6 months. Our hopes are dashed, and we now have even fewer options for funding and are competing for an even smaller pot of money. I do not know how our outstanding and unfunded excellent services will ever be able to compete, to grow and to prosper, to encompass people with a disability being actively and professionally involved in the arts. I have very little faith in the new funding under the MPEA, as there appears to me to be no place for community inclusion or engagement strategies for small to medium companies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.